Hello, my lovelies. I have another bombastic 80s fragrance to share with you today. This one was another favorite of my mother's back in the day, and although I tend not to appreciate strong florals from this highly scented decade and never owned this scent myself until now, I have to admit that I often snuck in to spritz this on myself. There was a flacon in the family bathroom dresser, and yeah, I hit it once in a while. Sung, Alfred Sung, was launched in 1986, and here are the notes. Woo-ha! Yes, this is indeed another meaty 80s floral, a much more assertive and traditional composition when compared to fragrances of today. The scent is sold in small parfum extrait, but more commonly in an EDT in 50 and 100 ml sizes. This is the big one. Don't be misled by the fact that this is an EDT, because this really does perform like an EDP, eau de parfum. Yes, this is the bigger size, thank goodness. And you can often find this super cheap, and I consider this guy to be one of the greatest floral compositions of the century. I'm serious. This fragrance is to perfumery as Beethoven's Fifth is to music. It is really beautiful. Now, sadly, just as I don't often listen to Beethoven, 80s florals are generally not my forte. So I had recognized its beauty, but it's not a beauty that is really for me. Sung is a heady, strong, complicated, white floral power scent, and you have to be into that sort of thing to appreciate it, I think. For me, it's another one of those incredible fragrances that reminds me of my fabulous mother, and in fact, it was my mom who first discovered it. The key to enjoying this fragrance is exercising restraint when spraying and giving it some time to evolve. If you don't, the heavy-handed excess of this composition will blow you away and that might not be a good thing. You might end up saturating the walls of the room you're in as well as those adjacent. Overdo it and you will suffocate life and all the immediate surroundings. But hold back just a bit and you may just find exquisite beauty. There's a watery greenness to all the fruit-laced petals that adds a perfect balance here and refinement. If you spray your cards right, that is. With such a long list of notes, I find you typically have to seek out the components, but once you twist past the citrus, outer weave, hyacinth, and jasmine do indeed burst through the opening with some indolic accords. Then you get some soapy sweetness with lily of the valley, with miles and miles of osmanthus and bitter galbanum. It's very green, but sweet. It's all tied down with a quirky counterweight of vetiver, oak moss, and musk, although bits of ylang-ylang, iris, and carnation are suspended in the surrounding space. I'm not a fan of lily of the valley infused soapiness here, but I'm happy to report that the base notes drown that quality out after a while. The whole concoction does calm down a bit as it dries down, though, making it most appropriate, I feel, for formal spring and summer evening events. I imagine the person wearing this is dressed in white, like a white ruched, is that what it's called? Like diva ruched thing, kind of like a Crystal Carrington type of character. It's highly feminine, it's romantic, yeah, and it's also very classy, I should say, like dry champagne, but it's not light because it's really humid. There's hot humidity here, but it's balanced by that watery green quality that gives you all the romance. The jasmine is mossy and woody and like tea-like. Although there's a bit of longevity with this perfume, it's pretty good. It does live closer to the skin with time, and I suspect this might be a good thing for people surrounding the wearer that are sensitive to perfume, because it is very perfumey. Sadly, I feel like this massively heady pièce de résistance might send some people running towards fresher air, an aspirin, and maybe a glass of water. At least its sweetness comes from all the flowers and not sugar. I'm definitely here for the dry down of this fragrance though. Once the bitterness has softened and the soapiness has dissipated, you're left with a light white floral veiled in lots of woodiness. Spray this on your PJs before going to bed so that you can wake up and enjoy the remaining musky jasmine and lily of the valley the next morning. Alfred Sung, by the way, I think he's retiring this year or recently has retired or will be retiring. And yeah, I'm a fan of this designer. He was famous for those, very minimalist, chic, clean lines in his pieces. And not so much as perfumes though. I wouldn't call this a minimalistic perfume. So do you agree with my assessment of this scent, my lovelies? Comment below. I look forward to reading your views and we'll see you in the next video. Scent Gourmand, signing out. Mwah.